Hello everyone, I'm Yongming, also known as Philip Yang. I'm a chair professor at Chinese Cultural University, Taipei, Taiwan, also an adjunct professor at the National Taiwan University. After Taiwan's major election in January, there has been a surge of interest in Taiwan's security from around the world, with numerous predictions and warnings being released. I believe that the actual impact on Taiwan's security can be attributed to three structural factors: Taiwan's political situation, cross-strait relations, and China-US relations. Each of these factors can potentially trigger a crisis in the Taiwan Strait. The interdependence and influence of these three factors have made the security environment in Taiwan more complex. Taiwan's political situation has become more complicated with the election of Lai Ching-te, who was elected amidst the competition between three parties: the DPP, the KMT, and the TPP, People's Party. This breaks Taiwan's 8-year party rotation pattern. However, a double majority government of Lai Ching-te, with 40% of the votes, and the minority in the legislative yuan, confirms the three-party competition and struggle, inevitably leading to severe political chaos. The prevailing public opinion in Taiwan is to maintain the current status quo. Lai Ching-te, however, a self-proclaimed pragmatic promoter of Taiwan independence, may make policy commitments that both support independence and maintain the status quo. The political situation in Taiwan is considered to be relatively stable when compared with other factors, and it is an essential element in the three-tier structure. It is unlikely that the Lai administration will declare independence, and as the opposition party acts as a check and balance. Furthermore, the US puts a significant pressure on the situation. However, de-Sinicization and anti-China momentum will remain strong, and controversial issues. The overall development may still lead to changes in Taiwan's security. Secondly, the level of cross-strait relations is the most conflicting and uncertain aspect in the short term. In the later years of Tsai Ing-wen's administration, there was an extreme lack of mutual trust between the two sides of the Taiwan Strait, and it will be even more challenging for the Lai Ching-te government to improve this situation. It is unlikely that the inauguration speech on May 20 of Lai Ching-te will have a significant impact on reducing tension with Beijing. While Beijing may not take immediate extreme measures, there has been a growing public sentiment in mainland China for military unification. Any action taken by Taiwan, therefore, that crossed the red line will trigger a strong and negative reaction. It is expected that Beijing will follow a three-step policy toward Taiwan this year. The first step is to stop making any more concessions, which means withdrawing any goodwill toward Taiwan, and this includes normalizing the flight route number M503 and canceling preferential tariff on the early harvest list of the ECFA. The second step is to take countermeasures, and the third step is to impose sanctions. Countermeasures are aimed at the DPP and the Lai Ching-te government, such as efforts to reduce Taiwan's diplomatic relations and countermeasures against Taiwan's trade barriers. As for imposing sanctions, which express anti-independence attitude, such as expanding military exercise in the Taiwan Strait. This situation could lead to further stalemate and deterioration in the relation between Beijing and Taiwan. with potential consequences such as a heightened geopolitical risk for Taiwan and challenges in the investment environment. As for security, the US think tank CSIS warns of the possibility of a military blockade in the near future, which would increase the risk of conflict. Thirdly, the security situation of cross-strait relations is largely dependent on the relationship between China and the United States. Given that this year marks the US presidential election, President Biden is currently facing challenges due to the ongoing wars in Ukraine and Gaza. As a result, he is keen to prevent any potential conflict in the Taiwan Strait. Therefore, the current Sino-US relations are showing a trend of easing and managing differences. However, despite these positive steps, there is still a strong anti-China sentiment in the American media and politics. Additionally, the issue of Taiwan has been politicized and used as a tool to contain China. Following Taiwan's election, President Biden dispatched a team of former high-ranking officials to Taiwan to ensure stability. During a press conference, AIT Chairwoman Rosenberg made a noteworthy declaration, stating that Taiwan's status was not determined by the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 2758. In addition, at the end of January, Jake Sullivan and Wang Yi held Sino-US strategic talks in Bangkok. The day before the meeting, the US 7th Fleet sent warship across the Taiwan Strait. The two incidents show that the US government is focused on balancing the Taiwan Strait rather than co-managing the Taiwan Strait with Beijing. After Lai Ching-te takes office on May 20th, I believe Beijing will limit Taiwan's strategic and international space. However, Beijing is expected to exhibit patience in the short term. Beijing has two main priorities. Firstly, it wants to strengthen the mainland China's economy. Secondly, it aims to enhance the PLA's capability and increase its influence in the region and globally. Ultimately, China considers the competition between itself and the United States its primary focus in terms of strategic importance. Finally, the biggest concern in the China-US relationship lies in the possibility of Donald Trump being re-elected as President of the United States later this year. While both Biden and Trump are likely to continue the strategic competition with China, Trump's policies are expected to be more confrontational, which could make Taiwan's security environment more challenging. Thank you for your listening. Thank you.